Hello everyone, my name is Ushal Ingade and today we will discuss about the gametogenesis. First of all, about its introduction. So, the gametes are formed from germ cells in the embryo. During embryonic development, germ cells undergo a period of multiplication and undergo a migration from the site of their formation to the gonad, which may be some distance away. After germ cells reach, they become fully combined into its structure and in post embryonic life undergo gamete formation or gametogenesis. The gametogenesis is typically divided into four phases. First, the extra embryonic origin of the germ cells and their migration into the gonads. Second, an increase in the number of germ cells by mitosis. Third, a reduction in chromosomal number by meiosis. And fourth, structural and functional maturation of the eggs and spermatozoa. The first phase of gametogenesis is identical in males and females, whereas separate differences exist between the male and female patterns in the last three phases. So, first phase, that is origin and migration of germ cells. Primordial germ cells or PGC, these are the earliest precursors of gametes, arise outside the gonads and migrate into the gonads during early embryonic development. Human primordial germ cells, recognizable at 24 days after fertilization in the endodermal layer of the yolk sac by their large size and high content of the enzyme alkaline phosphatase. Germ cells exit from the yolk sac into the hindgut epithelium and then migrate through the dorsal mesentery until they reach the primordial of the gonads. Phase 2, increase in the number of germ cells by mitosis. After primordial germ cells arrive in the gonads, these cells initiate a phase of rapid mitotic proliferation. Through several series of mitotic divisions, the number of primordial germ cells increases exponentially from hundreds to millions. The pattern of this mitotic proliferation is different between male and female germ cells. In female, mitotically active germ cells are called oogonia, go through a period of strong mitotic activity in the embryonic ovary from the second to the fifth month of the pregnancy in the human. During this period, the population of germ cells increases from only a few thousand to nearly 7 millions. This number represents the maximum number of germ cells that is ever found in the ovaries. Shortly thereafter, many oogonia undergo a natural degeneration called atresia. Atresia of germ cells is ongoing feature of human ovary until menopause. Whereas in male, mitotically active germ cells are called spermatogonia, which carry out mitotic proliferation that differs prominently from that of the female. Here, mitosis also starts early in the embryonic testes, but in contrast to female germ cells, male cells maintain the ability to divide throughout the postnatal life. The seminiferous tubules of the testes are lined with a germinative population of spermatogonia. At the beginning of puberty, subpopulations of spermatogonia undergo periodic waves of mitosis. The progeny of these divisions enter into meiosis. This pattern of spermatogonial mitosis continues throughout the life. Then, third phase, reduction in chromosomal number by meiosis. Primary importances are first, reduction in chromosome number from diploid to haploid, so that the number of chromosomes can be maintained from generation to generation. Second, independent reassortment of maternal and paternal chromosomes for better mixing of genetic characteristics. And third, further redistribution of maternal and paternal genetic information through the process of crossing over during the first meiotic division. Now, first of all, meiosis in females. Oogonia enter the first meiotic division late in the fetal period. They are called primary oocytes. Meiosis in the human female is a very slow process. As the primary oocytes enter the diplotin stage of the first meiotic division, In the early month after birth, the first of two blocks in the meiotic process occurs. The suspended diplotin phase of meiosis is the period when the primary oocyte prepares for the needs of the embryo. During the reproductive years, small numbers, that is 10 to 30, of primary oocytes complete the first meiotic division with each menstrual cycle and begin to develop further. The other primary oocytes remain arrested in the diplotin stage, some for 50 years. With the completion of the first meiotic division, shortly before ovulation, two unequal cellular progeny result. One is a large cell called secondary oocyte, and the other is a small cell called the first polar body. The secondary oocytes initiate the second meiotic division, but again the meiotic process is arrested, this time at metaphase. The stimulus for the release from this meiotic block is fertilization by spermatozoon. Unfertilized secondary oocytes fail to complete the second meiotic division. The second meiotic division is also unequal. One of the daughter cells is demoted to becoming a second polar body. The first polar body may also divide during the second meiotic division. Formation of both the first and second polar bodies involving highly asymmetric cell divisions. To a large amount, this is accomplished by movement of spindle apparatus toward the periphery of the oocyte through the activities of the cytoskeletal protein, that is actin. Now, meiosis in males. Meiosis in the male does not activate until after puberty. In contrast to the primary oocytes in the female, not all spermatogonia enter meiosis at the same time. Large number of spermatogonia remain in the mitotic cycle throughout the reproductive lifetime of males. When the progeny of spermatogonium have entered the meiotic cycle as primary spermatocytes, they spend several weeks passing through the first meiotic division. The result of the first meiotic division is the formation of two secondary spermatocytes, which immediately enter the second meiotic division. About 8 hours later, the second meiotic division is completed and four haploid spermatids remain as progeny of the single primary spermatocyte. It takes 16 days for formation of primary spermatocyte from spermatogonium, 8 days for secondary spermatocyte, 16 days for spermatid, and 24 days for spermiogenesis. So, the total length of human spermatogenesis is about 64 days. Then, next phase, fourth, that is final structural and functional maturation of eggs and sperm. So, first of all, oogenesis. Of the roughly 2 million primary oocytes present in the ovaries at birth, only about 40,000, all of which are arrested in diplotin stage of the first meiotic division, survive until puberty. From this number, approximately 400, that is 1 per menstrual cycle, are actually ovulated. The rest of the primary oocytes degenerate without leaving the ovary, but many of them undergo some further development before becoming atretic. Maturation of the egg is closely bound with the development of its cellular covering. Because of this, considering the development of the egg and its surrounding follicular cells as an integrated unit is a useful approach in the study of oogenesis. In the embryo, oogonia are naked, but after meiosis begins, cells from the ovary partially surround the primary oocytes to form primordial follicles. By birth, the primary oocytes are invested with a complete layer of follicular cells, and the complex of primary oocytes and the follicular cells, that is granulosa, is called as the primary follicle. As the primary follicle takes shape, a prominent translucent non-cellular membrane called as the zona pellucida forms between the primary oocyte and its enveloping follicular cells. The zona pellucida contains sperm receptors and other components that are important in fertilization. Then, structure of mature egg. The mature egg has a cell-like structure and composed of plasma membrane, primary egg membrane, and ooplasm. Now, first of all, we will learn about plasma membrane. The mature egg is covered by plasma membrane, which is the unit membrane. It is composed of an outer and inner layer of the protein. Next is primary egg membrane. In addition to the plasma membrane, the eggs of most animals except the sponge and the certain coelutenates consist of certain other additional egg membranes. These membranes are known as the primary and secondary egg membranes. The primary egg membrane is secreted around the plasma membrane by oocyte itself. In the insect, mollusks, amphibians, and birds, the primary egg membrane is known as vitelline membrane, while in tunicates and fishes, this membrane is known as chorion. The mammalian eggs contain similar membrane, and in them, this is known as zona pellucida. Next is about ooplasm, that is the cytoplasm of the egg. So, the ooplasm consists of large amount of reserve food material in the form of yolk. It is also composed of lipoprotein, pigment granules, water, RNA, ribosomes, mitochondria, and various other cellular inclusions. The peripheral layer of the ooplasm is known as cortex, and it contains many microvilli and cortical granules. The microvilli are formed by the outpushings of plasma membrane, and they help in transportation of the substances from the follicle cells to the egg during the development of the egg. The cortical granules are spherical bodies of various diameters. Now, structure of mature sperm. Spermatid is non-motile, so it has to undergo spermiogenesis to become functional motile male gamete. The progressive reduction in the size of the nucleus and tremendous condensation of the chromosomal material, which is associated with the replacement of histones by protamines, occur during the spermiogenesis. Cytoplasm streams away from the nucleus, but the condensation of the Golgi apparatus at the apical end of the nucleus ultimately gives rise to the acrosome. The acrosome is an enzyme filled structure that plays an important role in the fertilization process. At the outer end of the nucleus, a prominent flagellum grows out of the centriolar region. Mitochondria are arranged in a spiral around the proximal part of the flagellum. The spermatozoon is a highly specialized cell adapted for motion and the delivery of its packet of DNA to the egg. The sperm cell consists of the following, that is, first head. So this is near about 2 to 3 micrometer wide and 4 to 5 micrometer long. This head contains the nucleus and the acrosome. Next one, that is middle piece or the mid piece, which contains the centrioles, a proximal part of the flagellum, and the mitochondrial helix. And next, that is tail, which is about 50 micrometer long. Tail consists of a highly specialized flagellum. In the human male, each cycle of spermatogenesis takes about 64 days for this spermatogenesis. So it was all about the gametogenesis. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. Thank you so much.